All right, I think, are we here? Not quite yet. Why is this? Here it comes. All right, we're up. Let's move this. We're back to part two. Get back into editing. We're ready to set, ready to go. If you were here for part one, well then you mostly saw my head, and wasn't sharing the screen. You're following my journey, hey? Right? We're learning to get better at these things. If I keep doing this, they'll only get better, I assume. Look, why am I making this private? Is it too late to set this to public? Why not? See what happens. Oh God. Do I want to do that? Yeah, okay. Done. Make this public. Okay. Keep editing. So we're going to get these timings down to...
I've gone through a process where I've written where
Right, so
I had to get a tutorial out. Now, mind you, I've kind of adjusted. I haven't done it. I haven't written a tutorial for my site in a very long time, which I kind of miss because I do enjoy the process of just...
So what happens if we bring a break in around here? I'll start using the multicam tools soon. I think but for now,
my site in a very long time, which I kind of miss because I do enjoy the process of just sitting down and...
yeah, let's move this up to here, I reckon.
I do enjoy the process of just sitting down and just figuring things out and learning something new, and the best way to learn something new is to...
So let's start here. Line these two up and we'll get the multi-tool happening. How to use the multi-tool. So go turn on multicam tool. Now, yeah, let's just leave this up here. Why? Oh, because neither of them are showing right now. We want to start right here instead. Let's turn that on again. Okay, cool. All right, so when we're on an individual person, we're going to let it go for like 15 to 30 seconds, cut back to wide shot for 10 to 15, and that's pretty much generally the thing. So 10 to 15, maybe a bit longer for what do you call it? Close shots, individual shots, and then the wide shots are shorter, 10 to 15. So, and these are like, so here we are at 4:22. So that's about 20 seconds. So 10, 15, 20. You reckon? So we go 4:20, 4:20. Oh, my monitor just dropped out. That's back. So this is like that 4:20. So it's 18 seconds. I wish, I'm still wanting to get this. We saw this in the last. I wish these guides could be more evenly. I want to know how to do it. Let's KDN live timeline. What do you call those things on the time? They're not like, this is where I find it hard, right? This is a guide, right? So if that's a guide, and it's also like in the menu, it's add remove guide, but then they call it a marker. So what the hell do you call these? Are they guides? Are they markers? Timeline measurement increment markers, I guess. I don't know. And how do I describe it? I want to reset the set interval. Does it mean that's... I don't even know what language to use to search for this. No, not markers. Hang on. See, it's got markers and guides. Yet when I set a guide, it labelled it as a marker. Yeah, they're markers. Even though it says guides in the menu. Calls it markers here. What do I get? Yeah, it's different. Guides in the picture below are the purple flags. Oh, that was guides. I was looking at guides. No. Markers in the picture below are the green flags inside the clip. Oh, well, neither of these are what I want. What if we just search through this for timeline ruler? It's ruler. KDN Live ruler settings. Might take me to guides. Timeline. Alright, what if we ask ChatGPT? Now I know to call it a ruler. We asked this before. I don't want to add guides or markers. I want to manage the markings on the ruler. To manage the markings on the ruler in KDN Live and ensure that it's playing, you'll need to adjust the zoom level and the ruler settings. Yeah, of course it's tricky. Okay, I don't. Yeah, but then I got to do crazy maths. I'm not good at adding things like 15 seconds in my head. I'm not good at that bloody arithmetic. Great at formulas and stuff, but adding numbers up in my head, I just get too confused. That's too much cognitive overload when I'm trying to do editing at the same time. What do we want to do? What intervals are the ruler markings set to in KDN Live? In KDN Live, the ruler markings on the timeline automatically adjust based on the zoom level. No shit. Making it challenging to set them to a fixed interval like 10 seconds directly. However, understanding to build them. The ruler markings are dynamic and change based on the zoom level. But how? They adjust to provide a balanced view of the timeline, which means they might not always align. What does that mean? It says, which means they might not always, yeah, but what does that mean? Balanced view. As you zoom in and out, the intervals between ruler markings might be set to common time increments like 1 second, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Yeah. They don't appear to be. That's what I would have expected. Timeline grid, hey? View, show timeline grid. Can't even see what that changes. No, there's lying to me. So you reckon this is... We can see him down here. See, that's 18. 18. All right, now what are these then? If they're all even spaced now. Now they're 10. So that's 20. 0.
Podcast.
10. That's better. All right. But now I'm so far zoomed in, I can't see. Oh no, they're all here. They're all here. Yeah, nah. So yeah, this come up to this mark, we want to jump on to me. All right, go. Yeah, nah. Yeah. What's that? 10. That's not 10 seconds. That's not 10 seconds. 1, 2. Yeah, nah. 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
That's the most Aussie response. Yeah, nah.
9. I know I had that. Is that 10 seconds? That's 8. See, 4. 0 to 4. That's on a 0. Where's the next one? Hit a 0. Oh, now, no. Yeah, I mean, then look at these numbers. 3, 24, 15, 6, 7, 18. They're all over the joint. Right. 40. So every 2 it goes even-ish. But there's still 16, 32. No, it's such a pain. And we don't be using the multi-color. I've still got all these here. Ah. Yeah, nah. Yeah.
That's the most Aussie response. Yeah, nah.
I know I had that pre-ready to go. Of course, it's a cool tool up here. We're just gonna have to do it by feel. Is my pomodoro running? Yep. Right, we're halfway through. Cool.
And the best way to learn something new is to write a tutorial about.
No good.
And the best way to learn something new is to write a tutorial about it. You can't learn something new if you want to do a 60-second video. That's one thing I've figured out, because you need to know exactly what you're going to write, or sorry, what you're going to record. When you're writing a tutorial, you can just outline it and then go off and do your little research, come back, be like, oh, I'll do this, go off, jump around. And there are days that you're not going to enjoy it. And I have personally had points where I've been halfway through a tutorial and I'm like, I'm just not feeling this. And it's just a terrible experience. And I think to myself, am I wasting time? Am I wasting my life just writing this stuff no one's going to care about? But then sometimes you push through, and other times it's kind of like the dip. But then sometimes you push through, and other times it's kind of like the dip. I know Seth Godin talks about that. He has a book about it where you have to realize sometimes it's just best to just give up. But there's this whole concept of never giving up. You have to realize sometimes it's just best to just give up. But there's this whole concept of never giving up. And it's like...
Yes.
Yeah, so... But coming to answer your question about like consistency and LinkedIn. So I have been, as you've mentioned about me posting on LinkedIn, in the last few months, like my follower count, now everything isn't about follower counts, I totally understand, but it's a good metric to follow. Counts, I totally understand, but it's a good metric to follow. Especially if you're used.
It's the easiest one to measure.
Yes. Especially if what you write about is very niche and not many people give you feedback. Even if you're asking for feedback, it's like, give me feedback. What content do you want? Crickets. Like that's what pretty much is. Like that's pretty much is. But I have not been consistent with my posting. Like everyone says, all the gurus, or sorry, influencers, whatever you want to call them, about creating content on LinkedIn, always say post 5 to 7 times a week, every single day. You need to be writing content. I don't do that, but yet still my traffic and follower count has pretty much doubled. So one thing I've realized is that try and stick to something, even if it's every second day. Just try and stick to some consistency, because you'll be surprised. You might, write something that really resonates with people, and that kind of gets you going. And it's like, oh, people want this stuff. I didn't know that.
It's an interesting, because even consistency is, I've watched a lot of YouTube videos on content creation over the past year, a lot.
I'm just using the keyboard.
You do find a lot of contradictory advice, even from the same people, right? And I think partly that comes because they're generating content. I've got to get content out. What's a topic? I'll talk on consistency. They'll talk on consistency. And then one day they'll talk about the enjoying the process, and they'll change what they mean by consistency in the next video, because there's consistency of keeping your branding consistent, keeping your style consistent, keeping your topic consistent, not necessarily releasing content at the same time all the time, keeping a certain level of quality and keeping it the same so you're not confusing your audience, that sort of thing. And so what do you mean by consistency? We're not confusing your audience, that sort of thing. And so what consistent, not necessarily releasing content at the same time all the time, keeping a certain level of quality and keeping it the same so you're not confusing your audience, that sort of thing. And so what do you mean by consistency when they speak about it? It's not always clear. I think there's a lot of mismatched information up there. And I personally just think after a while, you just kind of got to do what feels right and what works for you. And the consistency is more about just don't give up. I seem to take it that way. What was I going to get at? Just recently, I just on my own channel, speaking to that, the quality versus quantity. That's what I'm trying to get to. That's a discussion too. Is it better to get out I mean, if you're trying to aim to get, like you said, 3 posts a day, I mean, if they're 3 terrible posts, I guess there is value to it because one of them might happen to be good and take off. But then if someone comes and reads the rest of your profile and it's all not very good, especially like a YouTube channel,
Yeah.
you put out one good video and they go, I'll check out the channel and it's just lots of crap, then you're not likely to get a subscriber as much and they're not going to come back to your channel because that's not what they were looking for, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's on my channel. I just recently did a 30-day speak to the camera challenge. So I was talking to the camera for 5-10 minutes every single day. And at first I was like, you know what, I'll just to get over it, I'm not going to post it. This is just an exercise for me. About 3 days in there, I'm like, what am I doing? Why don't I just post it up?
Yeah.
And then, so that became a consistent thing that I was posting every day. A couple of days, I'd backlog it and release 3 or 4 at a time. But the interesting thing I got from that was at a certain point, I suddenly stumbled on a thumbnail template that worked for me. Like I generated a thumbnail mock-up in ideogram.com, an AI image generator, and I'm like, that's great. And I recreated the background in Inkscape, and I've been using that same background and color and style throughout the thumbnails. So it's really fascinating to see that by that consistency, even though I don't even know if my videos are that much quality. Some people have watched them, got a few likes. There's not a lot of dislikes. Nobody said they're bad. I'm not the right person to ask. I just spoke to a camera for 10 minutes and uploaded it, right? But there was value coming from that process of just getting it out there and getting over the perfectionism of it.
Yes.
Which there's a lot of self-learning in that because I've gone through that process and really been hit in the face by how much of a perfectionist I am.
Ooh,
but then there's also the counterpoint of, but I did do it and I did get it out there and they're not perfect. So well done. Maybe I'm being too harsh on myself, but that whole process, it's a learning journey. That's been quite enjoyable, although it was a chore at times. Some of the videos are put up. I didn't record them until 12:30 at night. People in the house asleep. I couldn't like it. And it was hard because I just put it off all day. So although as much, one of those things, it was hard because I just put it off all day. So although as much, one of those things, you put it off all day and then you put the camera on and you happily talk for like 15 minutes and you come out feeling great. Like that's an old story I heard years ago about, even when I was a kid, you go to play soccer on a Wednesday night and it's cold and you don't want to go, but once you're there, you love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I had a very similar experience. I keep having these similar experiences every single day when it comes to my content creation, where I feel like sometimes I systematize things too much to the point where for me to get it out of my head and into a video format just takes too long. And sometimes people can get preoccupied with creating too many workflows. Sometimes you just need to get it out there and get it out quickly. And that's why I do really like your 30-day challenge. I would out there and get it out quickly. And that's why I do really like your 30-day challenge. I would like to think of, again, I don't want to procrastinate, but let me now create a list and brainstorm all of these ways I can know. But, I think creating a just no. But, all of these ways I can know. But, I think creating just creating some type of system that can be some type of system that too many workflows. Sometimes you just need to get it out of my head and into a video format just takes too long. And sometimes people can get preoccupied with creating too many workflows. Sometimes you just need to get it out there and get it out quickly. And that's why I do really like your 30-day challenge. I would like to think of, again, I don't want to procrastinate, but let me now create a list and brainstorm all of these ways I can know. But, I think, all right,
well, There's my 25 minutes. Sort of getting into the hang of this now. I'm getting into this stream of things. Got to get used to these numbers. I get confused. 1, 2, 3. Hit the wrong number sometimes. Sort of getting the hang of it. Doing this every couple of weeks. Getting better at it. And then I've got to learn DaVinci Resolve after this. That's a thing on my plate. Anyway, time for a break. See you guys soon. Thanks. Ciao.